the very first session, which is our keynote address. I would like to introduce the speaker. Our keynote address speaker is a consummate professional who has worked fastidiously in the finance industry, both locally and internationally over the last 30 years. He is an economist, a chartered accountant, a chartered stockbroker, an investment advisor, and a capital market regulator. You can clap. Yes, thank you. He has worked with Ernst & Young, CSL Stockbrokers, Augusto & Company, NBC International Bank, amongst others. Before his present appointment as the Executive Commissioner for the Securities and Exchange Commission, he pioneered and managed the NESD OTC Securities Exchange. He is happily married. He is blessed with wonderful children. He is none other than the very Mr. Bola Ajomale. With a resounding applause, can we please welcome upstage our keynote speaker, Mr. Bola Ajomale. Clap, 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 clap.
Morning, everyone. First of all, I'll say it's wonderful being back home. I have missed everyone. As I walked in, the very first thing that crossed my mind is, wow, look at these lovely people. I so missed you all. And I'm sure there are many more people, especially among the ushers, who I miss so much. And it's so wonderful to see you. And those who know me know why I will refer to the ushers before anybody else. It's wonderful to be home. I have no idea why I was invited to come and speak, but God has a plan. The Master has a plan, and I pray that his plans for us will come to fruition in Jesus' mighty name. There is a reason why we are here today. Those of us who know, we're here to relearn. Those of us who don't know, we are here to learn some new things. Those of us who are on the way, the Lord will guide them, protect them, and lead their footsteps. Those who are here, the Lord will bless you. I am going to spend maybe 10, 15 minutes. I normally talk through slides because it allows me to follow a particular path. But I pray that even as I speak, the Lord will refine my words. And he is the voice of many waters. So to each and every one of you, whatever I say, you will receive individually. It will not be the same thing for the person beside you. So whatever I say is actually meant for you specifically and not for the other person. So please just keep that at the back of your mind, even though you're going to be looking at some slides. Just keep it at the back of your mind. Just imbibe it and take it to yourself. I'm also very privileged to be here with my wonderful wife, daughter. Thank you, dear. Can you put up the slides, please? And I'll just go through some slides very quickly. I know I will not go over the 15 minutes I've been allotted because these first 2 minutes did not count. Are they up? So, our discussion is on empowering minds. Go to the first slide. A lot of the time, it's good to start from a general picture to see where things are. Sub-Saharan Africa is actually one of the faster growing parts of the world. That's where we belong. United States, that everybody is jackpot into, is actually predicted to have a 1.7 growth rate in the next couple of years. Euro, 1.7. Latin America, 2.5. That's over next year. Middle East, slightly above us, 4.2. Emerging and developing Asia, 4.8. And Sub-Saharan Africa, 4.1. That is next year. Now, what does that indicate to you? The growth is in the developing part of the world. It's not in the developed world. So if you're going over there, you're going to an area that has stopped growing, and the faster growth is on this side of the world. So what do you do to lock into this growth that is available in this part of the world? In emerging and developing, I haven't heard too many people going and saying they're leaving sub-Saharan Africa and going to developing Asia or emerging and developing Asia. Many go to the Middle East, yes, but they come back very quickly as well because the experience there is sometimes not too pleasant. I just put a note there saying Africa has the potential to be the fastest growing continent in the world. But we have to break away from digging a hole in the ground and selling oil, or scraping off all our lithium and just selling it, or cobalt, or things like that, and just selling things from the ground. We have to add value to ourselves. If we don't add value, we will not grow and we will continue to be exploited. Go to the next slide. Now, to make things worse, we then tell ourselves that we have persistent inflation. What we see are challenges. And I've heard so many people repeat and repeat and repeat the challenges they see. Inflation, devaluation, poor infrastructure, inefficient resource management, insecurity, unemployment, brain drain, economic policy is not good, the government is not good, and so on. Is it all bad? We have to ask ourselves, is it all bad? Go to the next slide. Is there any joy in this? Well, I will tell you something. Go to the next slide. Continue. Stop. Go back. And Pastor Muiwa said it when he started. Go back a second. We serve somebody who says, behold, I will make all things new. Go to the next slide. Because what he then says, what the word says is, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And then in 1 John, it says, all things were made through him. And without him, nothing was made that was made. What it says to me is that we serve the creator, the major creator. That's who we serve. Keep this in mind. You have the power and the backing of the Almighty. He's the creator. He's the determinant of all things. He's the one who creates everything and builds them anew. So even when you have a situation that may not be the way you want it, he will make it new. But you have to surrender. Please continue. You have to surrender to his will, and you must be prepared to take his instruction. He will instruct, but take the instruction, open your ears. What are we supposed to do? I'll give you a couple of things that we need to do, and Pastor Muiwa mentioned some of them, and so I'm so happy that he read my mind, because now it makes my job so much easier. When you hear things more than once, it starts to register even more. What are the things that we must do? The first thing, we must innovate. Go to the next slide. And then, could you help me put up Genesis 30, 37 to 43, if possible? If not, it's a story of Jacob and what he did with the sheep. He was given a whole load of white sheep. He covered some of them, and before you knew it, he started producing mottled sheep, which then became his and empowered him, and he moved. What if Jacob had remained under Laban, not doing anything? He would have continued to labor. He would have stayed in bondage. But he innovated a brand new sheep. You won't get anywhere if you keep doing the same thing, especially standing still and saying, I'm waiting for something to happen around me. You won't get anywhere. It is critical that you innovate. And I expected there to be younger people here, but even for the older people, I would say, just as a quick check, look around you and imagine removing all innovation that you see. Anything that has been innovated around you, remove it. What do you think you will have? You will not have biros. Someone innovated that. You will not have paper. You will not have light. You will not have floor tiles. You will not have chairs. You will not have glasses. You will be wearing bear skin. Somebody innovated killing a bear and taking the skin anyway. So everything around you, every single thing, air conditioners, everything, a roof, asbestos, everything around you is the result of innovation. So where are you? You are meant to innovate. You must innovate. So I always ask people, what do you see around you that you can do? Go back to the slides, please. What do you see around you that you can do? There must be something you can do. And then a lot of people tell you about their constraints and then their problems and so on. This is why I can't, this is why I can't. Jacob had 4 wives and 12 children and he still innovated. What excuse does anybody have? A man who has 4 wives and 12 children, really, his brain should be like bursting. I've got 1 wife. Bless you, darling. But he had 4 wives and 12 children, and yet he was still able to innovate. What tools did Jacob have at the time? He had some sheep, and he had some leaves. What do you have now in 2024? Everybody has a smartphone. That is powerful. Very, very, very powerful equipment that you have that you're walking around with if you want to innovate. You have information. You have got AI. You have got communication channels. There's nobody in this room who cannot speak to somebody on the other side of the world. You've got information right at your fingertips. I mean, literally, you have information on your thumb tip. The globe is shrinking. You can export anything you want. And I was talking to one of my sisters here this morning, and the very first thing I asked her is, are you exporting? And she goes, well, you know. But her mind is there. She's going to start earning dollars any minute from now. Big dollars. And the second question I asked her is, are you going to list on an exchange? And she was like, think about it. It will happen. Put your mind there. There's opportunity for logistics. There's opportunity for supply management. There's opportunity for every single thing. If you're prepared to innovate, if you open your eyes and you look around, you will see all sorts of opportunities. Go to the next slide, please. The second thing I'll say is that you should be confident. You should be resilient, and you should be adaptable. In 1 Timothy, it says, don't let anybody look down on you because you are young. Set an example for believers in speech, in life, in faith, and in purity. Set an example. Don't let anyone look down on you. And to that, I would say, Timothy was not too young to lead. So what's stopping all of us from being leaders of businesses, either big or small? I said, don't let anyone tell you that you are not something enough. There's always somebody who will say, well, you're not ready enough, or you're not good enough, or you're not educated enough, or you're not smart enough, or you're not eloquent enough, or maybe you're not rich enough, or maybe you're not as good enough as a believer as others, or maybe you don't have faith enough. There's so many not enoughs that people are ready to throw at you. Don't let anybody throw anything at you. You know who you are. Be confident. Be ready to adapt to your situation. Be resilient. Go for your dreams, but you have to dream something good and dream something big, and then go for it. Worst case scenario, you'll make a mistake along the way. That's a lesson anyway. So go for your dreams. Look around for opportunity. There's someone who built a huge industry on moving portable toilets around. What happened? He went somewhere and he just realized that, hang on, everyone's walking around like running into bushes and so on. Hey, put some toilets there. Became a huge business. Considering also that even the product he was carrying was also fertilizer for somewhere else. Jack Ma, the creator of Alibaba, I was watching it a few days ago. It just came up on television and I was listening to it. And apparently, I didn't realize, but Jack Ma failed primary school exams twice. And then by the time he finally got to secondary school, he failed 3 times again. And then he went ahead to create Alibaba and became one of the richest men in China. So, are you not educated enough? He said he got to a stage where he had been rejected so many times. He even went to, I'm not sure if it was KFC or McDonald's, one of the two. And he said when they first started in his town, everybody in his town went to apply. He said the first person to be rejected was him. But it didn't deter him because he was used to people rejecting him. And so he just said, well, fine, that's not for me. And eventually, he saw an opportunity when he saw some tourists who came and they were speaking English, and he thought, I want to learn English. And that's how he actually broke his whole situation. Last thing I would say about being positive is that if you're a positive person and you speak positively, then people will come to you with positive things. They would want to hear from you. They'd want to share their own positive thoughts with you, and that reinforces your own positivity. If you are a negative person and a complainer, people will come to you with complaints, and you both sit down and wallow in that complaint and enjoy that downward spiral. May the Lord make us positive. The third thing I'll tell you is to seek wisdom. And Pastor Miwa has said a lot about wisdom. But I'll just quickly say that in Ephesians 10:10, it says, if the axe is dull and one does not sharpen the edge, then he must use more strength. But wisdom brings success. There's a book that was very popular in the, I don't want to betray my age now, but I would say in the 1990s. I don't know whether it's still popular now, but Stephen Covey's 7 Habits for Highly Effective People. I think it is a recommended read for anyone. One of the major principles is sharpen the axe. Acquire wisdom, acquire knowledge, learn things, observe, prepare. Don't use brute force and energy all the time. There must be a more efficient way of doing things. But a lot of the time, we use brute force. We use energy. We try and force things through. Job says, but where can wisdom be found? And where is the place of understanding? Man does not know its value, nor is it found in the land of the living. So, let us try and be wise. Don't waste your energy on fruitless ventures. First of all, seek wisdom from God. Seek wisdom from God. Meditate. Pray. Listen. Find mentors, people you can speak to and share your ideas with, who would lift you, who would refine your thoughts. Observe. Not criticize. Observe. When you observe is different from when you criticize. But if you observe, you can think, this could be done this way. I wonder, maybe I should. That's observation. Criticism is when you say, that's not good. So observe. Seek to unlock new perspectives. I wonder if. In fact, I actually have had 1 or 2 employers who have been upset with me time and time again because I always try and do something different. Just for the fun of it. I mean, we've been doing it this way, but what if we go that way and come back? I was like, Bola, stop, behave. But I enjoy doing it because by doing a new perspective, you might just end up breaking a new ground. But always work with like-minded people. And when I say like-minded people, that's because you have sorted out being positive yourself. If you are not positive, then don't work with like-minded people. But if you are positive, and you believe you're positive, and you think you're confident, and you're prepared to be resilient, then find like-minded people who have the same values, who are prepared to work as hard as you are, and start moving around with them. That's where you're applying wisdom. The fourth thing I'll say is that everyone has a skill. As a character, go to the next slide. Now, it's one thing for you to have a skill. It's another thing for you to show it. Show your skill. There's a character called Huram in the Bible. And he was described as a widow's son from the tribe of Naphtali. And his father was a man of Tyre, a bronze worker. He was filled with wisdom and understanding and skill in working all kinds of bronze. The first thing that occurred to me is that if you are described as a widow's son in the Bible, I don't think it's a compliment. Nor do I think it is saying you are particularly well-positioned or powerful or a great guy with a fantastic background. If you're described as a widow's son, it says there's a slight disadvantage with this guy. But he had wisdom, he had understanding, he had skill, and his skill was useful for enterprise at that particular time. And then he showed it. Because if he didn't show it, nobody would know that he had it. And he was found extremely useful for that particular time. I don't know what kind of reward he got, but his name is indelibly written in the Bible. So examine your skill, examine your wisdom, check your understanding of things around you. It's in there somewhere. But pray. Listen to God. Fifth thing, I would say, is that you must collaborate. I don't know whether anybody has seen a Formula One pit stop. Okay, I know everybody watches football. But you should take a minute or two just to watch them change the tires of a Formula One car, and then you'll know what teamwork is. They change all 4 tires within a couple of seconds. They lift up the car, put it down. The car actually drives in. If you go to the next slide, there's an image there. And look at the speed, and unfortunately it's a bit small, but if you look at the speed at which that car is approaching, that car stops within inches of the person standing in front of it. And it stops within inches, it is precise, and immediately it stops. It's up, and it's down, and it's off again. Teamwork is important. And the Bible says that there are workmen with you in abundance. In other words, there are people around you in abundance. Woodsmen, stonecutters, and all types of skillful men for every kind of work. Now, expand that to say, look around you. There are skilled people all around you with talents separate and different from your own. But when you join forces with them and you start collaborating with them, you will get amazing results. A car will stop within inches of you, and you change the tires in seconds. If you find the right people to team up with. Imagine if one of these people got it wrong. One of the people you're collaborating with. If they get it wrong, then it means that, by the time the car has 3 tires on, the 4th tire is not fully screwed on. And then what happens? We have a saying in Nigeria, they say chop alone in Nigeria. And it has, So don't chop alone. Collaborate with people. Like-minded people will compliment you. They will challenge you. They will inspire you. They will push you to even greater innovation. And I would encourage people to always check what group do they belong to. Do you belong to a group that is building things, that is empowering things, that's creating new ideas, that's thinking new ideas, or do you belong to a group that is complaining and bitter and upset and sad and tired? Osumi, I can't go on. If you belong to that group, then really what you will be saying is, Osumi, no. For those who can't speak Yoruba, I'm tired, and you two, you're joining and saying, yeah, me too, I'm tired. Then what happens? All of you will just be tired together. Well, check what group you belong to. It's very important. What do you do with your social media? What do you use it for? I mean, one of the most amazing things right now that we have is that access to social media. Instagram. So many businesses are run through Instagram. Restaurants, any kind of service you can think of, Instagram is there. It is free. For those who have WhatsApp, in fact, practically everybody I know has WhatsApp. For those who have WhatsApp, how have you registered a WhatsApp, and what do you use it for? What kind of things go on with your WhatsApp? Is it work-related, business-related, learning-related, part of a group, or is it, apparently, they now have channels for Michelangelo, one of these comedians and so on. You can go there and just watch, comedy non-stop. Well, while you're wasting your time watching comedy, Michelangelo is making money off you. So what do you use it for? Are you generating content, or are you consuming? Are you feeding someone else without being fed yourself? LinkedIn is probably one of the best things you can ever use if you are business-minded or if you are progressive. There is all sorts of information available right in your face as soon as you log into it. TikTok. There was a comparison between how we use TikTok in this part of the world and how they use TikTok in the Far East, or in the fastest growing region in the world. And TikTok is, I think, a 90-second. It gives you 90 seconds to put up a video. And, in TikTok in China and other parts of the world, they will show you things like quick hacks, how you can quickly change this into something else, how you can plow a field, a 100 square meter field in just a couple of seconds using a donkey and something else. Some very, I'd say, outlandish ideas that just work and are effective and practical and make life easier for us. But on our side of the world, I think we use TikTok a bit more for showing off how we can dance and things like that, which, again, we need to change. We need to think about, and that's the only way our minds would actually expand. ChatGPT. I mean, if you're not using that, I would ask you to at least try and ask it 1 or 2 questions, and you'll be amazed at what you get. 6th thing I'll say, and I have just 2 more. I know I have time up, but I'll just have 2 more. I would ask a question: where is your impact? And I need you to put up this slide. Where can you impact? You can impact agriculture, there is need. Healthcare, there is need. Education, there is need. Financial services, there is need. Real estate, logistics, technology, renewable energy, entertainment, tourism, and the list goes on. So don't say, I have nothing I can do. There is something there is need in every single one of these segments. These are just 10, by the way. There are many more segments of this country that has absolute need, and there are 250 million of us who have that need. We need food. Agriculture is important. Even if you're on the logistics side of picking up a couple of yams from Ido and bringing them to Lekki, logistics, eventually there's a way through. This is at the lowest level. And then at the higher levels, you can start talking about the same logistics, but of moving things by container out of Nigeria to another part of the world. So in every area, there is a need. Where is your own impact? Find your impact. What are you going to impact? Because for the service you deliver, somebody will pay. Funding is something that a lot of people say they don't have. But the venture capital firms, angel investors, impact investors, all sorts of people who want to support you with their funding. Please go to the next slide. And I've just listed a couple of them. First of all, startups received about $200 million in funding in 2022. There's something called the Nigerian Youth Investment Fund. It gave out over $10 million to over 2,000 young entrepreneurs over the last couple of years. Please put up that slide. Ministry of Communication has indicated that it wants to train 50,000 people in AI. And then on the back of it, the ministry is now saying, but really, 50,000 people trained in AI is not even enough for this country. We need more. They can't even find 50,000 people to train because we are now coming forward to be trained. Tony Elumelu Foundation has supported over 5,000 entrepreneurs over the last couple of years. Bank of Industry, it continues to operate and work with people to empower them and bring them up. So the funding is available. Don't ever say, I can't get funding. And I guess we'll go into that by the time we get into the panel. Go to the next slide. And then I've listed out some more people who actually not only give you funding, but give you office space. They mentor you. They will help you in your business development. They will give you hub loans. They would help you hone your talent. They will develop your talent for you. And I've mentioned a couple of them again, just as an example. LeadPath, Lagos Innovate, Startup Nigeria, Vertebra, and our very own Faith Foundation, they're available. So don't say, I don't know where to get help from. If you look, you will find. Go to the next slide. Support for entrepreneurs. Again, I've listed out, I think about 8 to 10. And I've deliberately left the URL in on each one of them so that we do not say we can't even find them. Because some people will now say, well, I don't know how to find these companies. I've left the URLs there. Click on it. Use your smartphones. Click on any of those. It will take you into the website and it will show you what they do. If you don't research, they're not going to come into your house and tell you that, well, we have this opportunity for you. You have to do the research if you want to grow your business. So, in summary, go to the next slide. I have told you 7 of 8 things. Innovate, be confident, seek wisdom, show your skill, collaborate, make an impact. Funding is available. Most important thing I would say is the one that I've left last, which is that you are blessed. And we're doubly blessed. Doubly blessed. I was blessed once. I'm blessed all my life. But there was one time when I was blessed when I had the opportunity of listening to someone speak, and there was just one bit that she said. I mean, a lot resonated, but one thing she said stayed with me and has become one of the cores of what I say. And we're doubly blessed because she's here today. And so I'm going to challenge Nike that when you come, repeat that story you said that time about the fact that everybody, God asks, what is in your hand? You remember? God asked you, what is in your hand? He asked Moses. He had just a stick. But he raised it up. He did all sorts of things with that stick. He would ask, what is in your heart? Where are you going to impact? What is your passion? Where are you going to go with your passion? I cannot say it well enough when the person who I first heard it from is here, so I'll not dwell on this. But people will pay for whatever solution you provide. I'll just leave with some watchwords. Learn, apprentice, innovate, collaborate, socialize, be confident, make sure you're making an impact. The world is a globe and it's getting smaller. Export, services, and technology. All of those words are words that are critical to us moving forward and for us to get out of that circle of unemployment, brain drain, and so on that we said at the beginning. And I'll say God bless us in all our endeavors. Thank you very much.